Arise, beings, and welcome to unMadeGaming. We are here. We are back for one of our Patreon one-shots, and we are back in Glenbrook. It has been quite some time since that fateful multi-episode day on November 2nd, 1985. I assure you, things are much better here on the other side of 1986. Nothing bad happens in 1986. Everything is sunshine, rainbows, and gumdrops. That being said, if you like what we do here and you want to support this channel, the best way to do so is by joining us over on Patreon. Link for that down below. While you're down there, click on that Discord link, join us in Discord, be a part of the conversation, be a part of the community. Like these fine folks here, they've done both of those things. And as always, in the bottom right-hand corner, you can see our players are begging for pain as the donations roll in to the corruption bar. That bar serves two purposes. One is when that bar fills, which it has done twice now, I unleash horrible things on a group that should not request that. And two, every single dollar that goes into that goes back to this channel for all kinds of cool things like art upgrades and sound and all kinds of weird things and hiring people to do this job better than I can. That being said, without further ado, welcome back to Glenbrook. The year is 1986. The place, New England, more specifically Rhode Island, the home of Mercy Brown, America's first vampire, the site of many dark and lurid tales from the mind of HP Lovecraft, and the home of the infamously haunted Perron family, and now the site of one of the largest government research facilities in the world, the Loop. After a large nor'easter struck Glenbrook in November, leading to severe property damage, including the abandoned Johnson residence, and loss of life, including the young William Duncan, the town began to rebuild and return to normal with the continued partnership of the Loop and the Department of Public Works, even going so far as to organize a Christmas village to support local business. Winter break has come and gone, the town of Glenbrook has marched on with the beat of time, and as life seemingly returns to normal, whispers of inexplicable phenomena and spectral sightings sweep through the town. We start with a young Shane Hughes. Shane, to remind us all, what does Shane look like?
Shane is just a little over 6 feet. He's got curly red hair. He is in very good physical condition because he runs track competitively and has done so for many years. And in fact, now that college is starting to loom, he is already preparing to go and try out for the various track teams at the various colleges. He has his eye towards Tufts, just about an hour north, as they have one of the best collegiate track programs in the country.
We see Shane sitting in a chair. Between him and his sister Lisa is a roller table, one that you would slide someone's food on inside of a hospital. This tray table creates a barrier between the two of them. An unfinished jigsaw puzzle sits atop. As Lisa presses one of the pieces into place, she looks up at Shane and calmly states, "It's no one's fault. You know that, right?" She nods her head towards the in-room television and depresses the button to turn it on. The title screen of a movie called The Sound Before a Scream lingers on the screen. And as Shane turns back to see Lisa, now peacefully sleeping, he notices someone that looks suspiciously like Fish walk past the door.
Shane will go and so first of all, he does a double take between Lisa and the TV. What's on the TV? Anything?
The title screen has faded to black,
Okay.
and then it starts to come back to life as some made-for-TV movie starts to play.
Okay. He'll do that double take and then kind of poke his head out into the hall.
You see the typical hustle and bustle of the local county hospital. Nurses move to and fro. There is a nurse station just a good 10 feet at the edge of the hallway. And you see the back of a girl, probably 14, 15, your best guess, around 5 feet tall, walking away from you.
Fish, that you?
You get no response.
All right. I will go out into the hall and not run, not hustle, but walk with purpose. Uh, Presumably, I can overtake her relatively quickly, uh, and then manufacture some excuse to stop, check my pockets or my watch or something, and steal a glance to
Sure.
see if it is in fact someone I recognize.
Yeah, yeah. You hustle down the hallway, doing your best to not look like you're hustling down a hallway. And
Flying
you,
casual, yeah.
yeah, of course. You list to the left. You make it to the end of the nurse's station, and you lean over as if checking something, and you get you cock your head to the left, and you watch this girl turn the corner, and head down. And by golly, if you're not sure that is Fish, she doesn't recognize you, doesn't look to you, doesn't seem to notice you at all.
It's busy. Maybe she didn't hear me. Um, I will walk after her, and when we get to a point where I know it's quiet enough that she will be able to hear me if I'm not yelling, I will call to her again. Fish, that you?
Again, you get no response.
Excuse me, miss?
Nothing. She continues walking.
I will continue following her.
Great. Fish. You walk through a hospital. Everything seems to take on a dull gray color. The doors, walls, and hallways all blend together. You turn a corner past a nurse's station, and 3 doors down on the left, you enter a room. It's a single occupancy. It's one of the nicer rooms on this floor. And in the hospital bed, you see your mother. She sits there. There are flowers on a nightside table. Your father is slouched in the chair, feet up on the edge of the bed, passed out. He spent the night here. She looks to you and smiles. A smile that is as loving as it is hiding pain. As she looks to you, glances over at your father, and just sort of motions for you to be quiet. She pats the side of the bed nearest towards her hip, enough room for you to sit down, and welcomes you into the room.
Yeah, she grins and she tiptoes over because she doesn't want to wake her dad, and she hops up with a bounce and she will lie down next to her and put her head on her shoulder.
She strokes the top of your hair, kind of like moving your hair out from underneath you along the bed. As you see her grab the mounted control on the bed and sort of click the TV on, and immediately click down on the volume arrow. You see that the screen transitions to a live news broadcast in Cape Canaveral, Florida. Um, you see there is a rocket that is about to take off. You note that the rocket bears the same logo as the clothing your mom often wears. And you know that before she was sick, there was a rocket she was supposed to be on. You didn't really understand the mechanics of it or why or what she was doing in there, but you knew that your mother was bound for space. And now she isn't.
Cool.
It was the coolest thing. Um, she looks to you and she mouths the words, "That could have been me."
Yeah, and she carefully drapes her arm over her chest and just snuggles up. I'm sorry you didn't get to go, but I'm kind of glad that you're here with Dad and I.
Your mom looks down at you and she presses a soft smooch onto the top of your head and she says, "You know you're going to have to take care of him, right?"
Yeah, I'll take care of him. He doesn't even know how to iron his shirts.
She smiles and looks over at your father. You hear a snore. She looks back to you and she says, "No, silly. Not him."
What do you mean?
She looks to the door and nods. And as you follow her gaze and turn, you see Shane standing in the door. He too is muted, kind of gray like the rest of the hospital.
Do I know him?
You recognize Shane. You've met him before.
Okay. Hey, Shane. What's up?
Shane, you see this scene unfold, and you see Fish look over towards the door and mouth words, but you hear nothing.
What? What are you doing here? I didn't know you lived in California.
Okay, I'm not actually hearing any of what she's saying, right?
Nope.
Okay.
What? I can't hear you.
He takes the heart pendant out from under her shirt.
Lisa's here? What is she doing here? And she looks back at her mom and I'll be right back, okay? Maybe you should try taking a nap.
Your mom mutters under her breath, "Oh, okay, Fish. Little Fish." And she turns her head towards your father and she drifts off to sleep.
Okay. And she slowly slides off the bed to not disturb her. And she walks towards Shane. What are you doing?
You walk towards Shane. Shane, you step out of the doorway as if to lead back to Lisa's room. And Fish, you break the threshold of your room back into the hallway. Shane, you turn and begin to lead the way. And we hear a crackle and static, followed by, well, welcome back to WGBK 97 or 93.7. We see Jojo. He is inside the Stillwater Mill as the morning radio show kicks on at the low volume you had it on, waking you up from your frosty cold sleeping bag as the barely existing embers in a potbelly stove keep you warm. The DJ kicks off the morning announcements. The weather here in Glenbrook is a chilly 42 degrees. And he continues his morning spiel. Looks like it's going to be rain and sleet this weekend, everybody, so bundle up and stay indoors. Those roads are icy, and black ice is no joke. He continues his spiel as you sort of come to in the morning. And Jojo, you have been living here in the Stillwater Mill. What does your space look like? I assume you're not in the hideout office. You've kind of taken up a new residence to keep it, separate. But what does your situation look like, and how does your morning routine begin?
It's probably the office right next door.
Mm-hmm.
That he's stolen a hammock that he had, well, that Sky had basically in the hideout, and he's moved it over to give himself somewhere to sleep. The place is probably a mess. Jojo himself looks like a bit of a mess. He's skinnier than he was before. His hair's longer, unkempt. His morning just involves him swinging his legs over the side of a hammock, wandering over to a bottle of water or having a drink, and just sitting down listening to the radio.
Yeah. The radio continues. The announcements sort of end. It is, I believe it's Friday. 25 January. I forgot what day it was. I think it's Friday. But the announcements continue, and it starts playing morning music. as it were. As you sort of get back into your daily motivation to do nothing. You haven't attended school in quite some time. No truancy officers have come to find you. Sporadically, people have been in and out of the mill, the broken mill, and it's Saturday. And every once in a while, your friends drop off things like food or check on you. Usually fish, sometimes John. But you live the life of the ultimate bachelor. If you didn't before, you definitely do now. What are you doing?
Once he's awake, settled, John was kind enough to gift him a new skateboard after his last one didn't make it out of the house. When he's eventually up and ready, he heads down to the ground floor of the mill into a cleared space, and he just skates all day. Just skates and skates and skates.
Okay. The portable radio is typically your only outside world source, right? So you take that with you as you head down into the lower floors that have less offices and more wide open space. As the announcer kicks the radio over to Casey Kasem for America's top, whatever number of the month it is. Casey Kasem's America's top 40s. And it starts playing the top 40 songs of the Billboard charts. We cut across town to a somewhat dingy, somewhat clean apartment of one Jordana Fisher. Fish, you wake up. The memories of a dream about your mother still sort of swirl in your mind. And for some reason, you can't shake the feeling that you were told something and that you saw a friend in your dream. It doesn't quite make sense to you. But you can still, as you rise and wake up with the morning, you can still hear the sounds of the television in the next room that your father passed out in front of. What are you doing? Mm-hmm. What does your morning look like, Fish?
It being Saturday, she would be, since she doesn't have school, she would be heading over to the mill to see JoJo. And so that's the first thing on her list of things to do is to get ready. So she will quickly throw back the covers, get dressed, and she stops when she sees her mom's journal sitting on her desk, and then she thinks back to the dream. And she pauses for a moment, and then she takes the journal, puts it in her satchel, and she puts on her loop work shirt that her mom used to own, and she puts her hair in a ponytail, and she quietly sneaks out into the living room and looks to see if her dad left any bills sitting on his little coin tray.
Yeah, there is a power bill due for the apartment.
Any money?
Oh, you mean bills as in
yes.
dollar bills, not as in sorry,
not adult responsibility, Mike.
I was gonna say, wow, you've taken one hell of an adult take on Fish
I pass it over to Rossi, and he takes care of it.
Yeah. There's like a few crumpled bills and some coins. Nothing more than $5, and it's all in ones. It's all in crumpled ones.
She takes it, jams it in her pocket, and she kind of looks at him a little bit, and then she picks up an empty beer can from the floor underneath his hand, and she will go put it in the kitchen, and she will put on her jacket because it's 40 degrees out, and she will head out the door.
Okay. Roll me. Actually, don't you have to roll me anything. You walk by, you grab all these things, you grab these cans, these bills, as you called them, and you you see the news is on. Some sort of news program is on, and again, it draws you back to your dream. It's one of those moments where like you recall something from your dream, but the dream itself is slowly fading, and you're sort of grasping onto fragments of it. But you see the news is talking in bright sunny Florida. You see palm trees. You see a place that you somehow recognize. You're not entirely sure why you recognize it, but there is a shuttle bay, a launch shuttle bay, where there is a newscaster is speaking to. Excuse me. Is speaking to some sort of doctor or scientist or something. You're not entirely sure, but the ticker on the bottom is talking about how the Voyager 2 made its first flyby of Uranus. Voyager 2 being a spacecraft, and how it is a momentous occasion in space travel, and how they are looking forward to in just a few short days for the next shuttle launch of the USS Challenger, and how everyone is ramping up to that moment, and how excited the country and the world as a whole will and should be for this liftoff.
Yeah. I was literally Googling it while you were discussing. I'm like, oh no.
The Challenger? Yeah, that's the one. That was the bad one. That was one of the bad ones.
January 28th, 1986.
Yep.
Yeah.
Just a few short days from now, the world will be excited. You see this, and it sort of recalls something about your dream, but you're still grasping on what that is. It just sort of pulls you back to that moment as you catch the glimpse of this and head out into the world. Where are you headed?
She is going to get some food. A new burger place opened, the Burger Empire, and she's going to go get Jojo some Whompers.
Burger Empire. Listen,
patreon.com/UMG podcast. Pod Network, if you want to get that reference.
The Burger Empire. Oh God, I forgot that was a thing. Outstanding. 3 people understand that reference. So you head out to the local Burger Empire for a breakfast. Are you headed there and then headed to the mill, I assume?
Yeah. She's got $5.
That's true. So you head that way. You head that way, and we cut again to a different section of town, where we are met with the sound of on a bedroom door. Shane, you are awoken to the loud taps of someone's knuckles rapping on your door, and the voice of your mother saying, "Shane, wake up."
I'm up. What's going on?
It's Saturday? You're babysitting today? Did you forget?
Oh, that was today. Okay. Yeah. Give me I'll be done in 5 minutes, okay?
Okay, hurry up. They're leaving and she's already here, so.
Okay. I'll be right down.
Okay.
And he kind of wipes the sleep from his eyes and kind of, shakes his head to get himself a little bit more awake. Throws on a pair of sweatpants and a track shirt, stops for a second, realizes it's a sleeveless tank top, and then throws a sweater over top of it.
Perfect. You head downstairs. We see the interior of your home, a large open living room with one of those like breakfast nooks that has that like overhang wall into the kitchen. And you see before you, please confirm this for me. Are you cousins? Is that what the implication was? Okay,
Yeah.
Great. You see your cousin. For a moment, as you descend the stairs, you see this 12-year-old girl, and there's a second where the fog in your mind and the sleep in your eyes, and for a briefest of moments, you see Lisa standing at the door, waiting for you to babysit her. And as you sort of blink that away and adjust the hoodie over your tank top, you see your cousin Dee Dee standing in front of you. And Dee Dee, if you would please introduce your character, what she looks like, and what she's doing.
Dee Miller stands before you. She's got a cute little heart-shaped face. She's wearing a red knit cap to fight the cold weather away. Underneath the cap, you see her hair is short and shorn, perhaps a little bit inconsistently, as if she's taken scissors to her own hair, and maybe her parents have done a little bit of a cleanup job. She wears a white sweater, and over that, her favorite pair of red overalls. I think the outside of Dee Miller is one thing, but understanding the inside of Dee Miller is another. She lives in a world of where everything, all objects are threatened to be impermanent. So the description of the hospital is very similar to the way that she views most of the world most of the time, where everything is desaturated and becomes indistinct until something draws her attention to a thing, and then it is bright and sunny and she must give it her attention. The world moves in a time frame which is like -3 by compared to everyone, compared to herself. And words are spoken also in this very, very slow, munged out language, except from time to time when a word attracts her attention, such as her name, and then all of a sudden her attention and her focus is there. In this world where everything is desaturated and slow and hard to keep focus on, she's often starved for stimulation, and so she will find her own ways to keep herself entertained. And right now, the way she's doing that is by spinning in circles with her arms outstretched in the middle of the hallway.
Shane, that's what you come downstairs to see.
Hey, did.
Shane! And for a moment, she stops and she runs towards you, and then she begins to run circles.
Is she by herself or?
Yes,
okay.
her parents have left.
Her pops would have left a $10 bill with your mom, Shane.
Okay.
It's that sweet babysitting money.
Yep.
Your mother looks to you, Shane, and she says, "Okay, there is $10 on a magnet on the fridge, for anything you might need. When I get home and she's still alive, I will give you the other $10 from your uncles. The $10 is for pizza or incidentals, just so we're clear here. Have a great day, and I have to go.
Okay.
If you need anything, let me know, and you know how to reach me." And she starts to like grab her keys and purse and head to the door, and then stops, comes back, gives you a smooch on top of the head, and then squats down and sort of gives Dee Dee a similar smooch on the top of her head, and says, Please don't terrorize him. Like,
I'll be good. I'll be good.
Okay.
I promised.
Okay, great. And she like to you, Shane, as she opens the door and leaves. And the for a second after the door clicks, there is quiet in the house. That can only last mere seconds in the presence of Dee Dee.
Yep.
However, you watch your mother get into her car and pull out of the driveway. And as you do so, you see at where the driveway meets the road, you see a girl about 14, 15, looks like Fish, with her hands on the handlebar of her bicycle, carrying a sack of Burger Emporium food. Thank you.
I will. Okay, I'll look back at you and go, and I'll go to the door and open it and shout a little louder than I really have to. Fish? Kind
Fish,
of hesitantly.
you hear your name shouted from your right-hand side.
My right hand side. So she stands when she looks. Oh, and she stops and she goes, "Hey, Shane." She says, like, kind of confused, like, just odd that this is the second time she's seen him this morning.
And he actually has somewhat of the same strange kind of confused look on his face as well.
Sup?
I'm good. You okay?
Yeah.
Okay.
Just going to the mill. You want to come?
Give me a sec.
She waits.
Dee Dee?
Dee Dee's gone.
Run back up to the door. I gotta go find where my cousins disappeared to. Maybe we'll come by later.
Okay. Babysitting?
Yeah.
Saturday?
Paying the dues.
Okay.
So what words do I know other than her name tend to attract her attention?
When you were having a conversation with her pops the other day, he told you about her very, very favorite cartoon series, Speed Racer, and that he often uses the word "Go Speed Racer" in order to attract her attention, or "Hey Speed Racer," one of those. But he warned you that if you were to ever watch her, that you shouldn't use those code words very often, because once it loses the novelty, it can no longer attract her attention anymore.
So Shane's gonna kind of cinematically, kind of look to one side, look to the other, just, doing that silly version of confirming that no one else can hear what he's about to say. Hey, Chim Chim, you around?
From the direction of, let's say, the garage, wherever that might be, you hear some clanking, and then the door flies open and she comes into the room. Who? Did you say Chim Chim?
Got your attention, didn't it?
Yeah, do you want to watch the show?
Yeah. Let's sit and relax. Are you hungry? Do you have breakfast?
Yeah, what do you got? What do you have?
We've got cereal. We've got, I can make you some toast or a sandwich, or,
she's not in front of you anymore. She's now run into the kitchen.
he shakes his head, kind of sighs. Wait for me, kiddo.
She's pulling fruit down out of the off of the counter.
Okay, one at a time. One at a time. What would you like?
A banana.
Okay. Here, I need the apple back. Okay, can I have the apple, please?
Why?
Because
And then she tosses at you before you answer the question.
Because it's hard to eat a banana with an apple in your other hand, right?
Not for me.
You got to have one hand to hold it and the other hand to peel it, right?
Yeah, sure.
And so while he's doing this, while he's keeping eye contact to keep her attention, because this is his kitchen, he knows where pretty much everything is. He will grab the banana without having to look, and pop the stem to get the peel started, and hand it to her.
She grabs it, chows down.
Okay. Yeah, I think. Let's see if we can find
today. You want to go ride bikes?
Lee, in a little bit, yeah. Let's go. I might introduce you to some of the people that I know. My friend, one of them is my friend John. He's been helping me take care of Lisa.
Is he nice?
I think that depends on how biting your sense of humor is. But he's a good guy.
All right, sounds good. Can we go now?
Sure. And he will grab the apple that Dee Dee tossed him. Smile, take a bite out of it. Let's go.
Dee Dee lost interest in the banana halfway through and leaves the half-eaten banana on the counter and is already approaching the front door.
Okay. Shane pauses just momentarily, does the back and forth between Dee Dee and the banana, and follows after her.
Shane, you get outside your house, and you weren't expecting it, but you weren't expecting it either way. But Fitch is gone. She continued on her way.
Yeah.
Where are you headed? Primarily, John exists in two places: either the garage or the broken mill, the old Stillwater mill.
Well, so I know that JoJo's been staying there.
Yes.
And I know that Fish and John have been taking care of him.
Yes. So where do you head?
I am going to take her to the mill. Because at this point I've got that little itch in the back of my mind because of the dream about Fish.
Yeah.
So I just
makes sense.
And the mill is completely childproof.
Yeah. There's no sharp edges, broken glass, splinters. And it's not 100 years old.
It's 1986. The word childproof hasn't been invented yet.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
As someone who was 10 in 1986, trust me.
The mill is walking tetanus. We cut again to Fish as you skid to a halt, and in classic 80s teen fashion, just jump off your bike. It skidded just to the side, crashes, and you see the two glass doors that lead into the boarded over somewhat glass doors that lead into the mill, and you see sat on the front cement stair of this mill a gift. It's a gift because it's wrapped like a Christmas present. It is in bright metallic green wrapping paper and a comically ornate bow, red bow.
She stops and looks at it and walks forward. How did you get here? And she's gonna see if there's a label on it.
It says to who, and it's roughly like 3 inches on the short side by maybe 4 or 5 inches on the long side, and maybe 2.5 inches deep. This box.
Know who? Does it look like adult handwriting or kid handwriting?
Roll me investigate.
I shall do that. Do.
It looks like somehow, I'll let you interpret this however you want, it looks like neither.
Does it look like it's like typed on a computer?
Fuck Christ. They also have typewriters. G is fucking. It does look strangely like symmetrical. Like the kerning is perfect. If you want to be a font nerd. But it does look like it's written by hand.
Okay. And she's gonna shake it next to her ear.
There is a little bit of wiggle room inside of this, and you hear a thunk, 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 thunk as you shake it. The appropriate number of thunks per shake.
Okay, she's gonna tuck it under her arm and get inside to make sure that her Whompers don't get too cold. And she'll
Yeah,
make her way up to the office.
you walk upstairs and you head towards the second floor, an open floor, or you head up the switchback staircase. And at the second floor, you hear not loud, but loud enough. And now in our 36 spot, down from last week's 21, Broken Wings by Mr. Mister. And a light music begins to play behind it, and then it starts to flare up and it says, "Take these broken wings." And you hear that as a sound of a skateboard hits the wooden floor. And you know that somewhere on the second floor, you assume to be JoJo, is skateboarding and listening to the radio.
Sweet. In my mind, he just got this skateboard, so it's the first time she's
John.
Yes, it's first time she's heard him skateboarding, so she's like, "Oh, cool!" And she's gonna run upstairs.
Okay,
JoJo!
you sprint the switchback staircase up to the second floor as the song crescendos into the bridge and chorus, and you see JoJo is skating around, slaloming the columns in the second floor, the open area bay of the mill. JoJo, you hear your name being screamed, and shortly thereafter you see Fish holding a bag of Burger Emporium.
He turns, heads towards Fish, and as he gets close, he stops and tries to spin, but board shoots out, hits the ground, bambers back up and says, "Dude,
You okay?
you right? It'll be fine. It happens."
I got breakfast. Burger Empire. It's new.
New where?
In town.
We never get anything new. Thanks, dude. Appreciate it.
Yeah. And she's gonna toss him 2 Whompers.
They don't serve breakfast before noon, G. You know.
No, it's not breakfast. It's a full-on burger.
I'm sorry, they don't serve lunch before noon, G, or 10:30.
Buzzkill.
Mike being pedantic. Come on now.
God, don't you know American fast food? Jeez.
Burger King will do it. Just saying.
They do now. They didn't before. They have the breakfast Whompers, which are the waffle Whompers. The buns are replaced by waffles. The burger is replaced by sausage, and the cheese is replaced by cheese. And that is, yeah, it's great. It's if you just drank Crisco, it'd be the same thing. So you are
having the best diet.
Yeah, you are tossed a wax paper wrapped breakfast Whomper. The first one you've ever had in your entire life, in anyone's entire life. Since I made that up just now. There is no waffle breakfast sandwich anywhere.
Not yet.
Yeah, not yet. I swear to God, if someone patents the waffle Whomper, I'm coming for you. You are tossed this as the two of you, I assume relatively wordlessly, some grunts and some pseudo words, as you munch down these waffle Whompers. You hear over the I can only imagine you hear over the sound of your own chewing in your ears and the sound of Everybody Dance, the number 35 song on this American Top 40 of this week. The sound of new arrivals at the mill. Shane and Dee Dee, you arrive at the mill a mere few minutes after Fish does, and you can hear wafting down from the second floor the sounds of Everybody Dance by Tamara and the Scene as you enter in here. Dee Dee, this is the first time you've been here, and as far as you know, this place is condemned, and it's illegal to be here, and it is unsafe.
Sweet.
Yeah. This is a dangerous time to be living right now. You are the most rebellious, as
Definition
you
of
could.
condemned anyway.
Yeah, it varies depending on your age and the generation you are living in. But yeah, as the sounds of everybody dance do sort of waft down the staircase. Shane, you know that you are not the only occupant here. You assumed as much as you saw Fish's bicycle tire still spinning on the ground outside as you arrive. What are you two doing?
Okay, so I have not taken my eyes off Dee Dee because I only have to learn that lesson 3 times. So I, keep a hand. I put a hand on her shoulder. Say, okay. Here's the deal. All right.
She's not looking at you.
Okay. Dee Dee, I actually maneuver myself around so that, I try to move to keep pace with wherever her eyes are pointing.
Oh, hi.
Hi. So, here's the deal. We can play here as long as you don't get too close to the machinery. Got it?
What machinery?
The sharp stuff around.
Sounds fun.
Nope. If we get too close, we have to go. Okay?
Fine.
Deal? He holds out his pinky.
Deal.
Okay. Let's go upstairs. One step at a time, please.
Yeah, she discards that altogether.
Yeah. Oh,
And she's already
I'm
upstairs.
assuming she was already like 2/3 of the way up the stairs before the thought materialized.
I love that. So taking as many stairs at a time as you possibly can, Dee Dee, you mount this staircase up to the second floor where you hear the last dredges of Everybody Dance ending and the dulcet tones of Casey Kasem going on to a letter from Fan, which is a long-winded introduction to the number 34 song Tarzan Boy by Baltimora. As you jump onto the second floor here, and you see the last bit of Waffle Whomper go down the throats of Fish and get on the gullet of Fish and JoJo. The crumpled paper is tossed by the wayside, and you see, to you, two absolute strangers who seem to be housing what look like cheeseburgers and riding a skateboard at morning hours, breakfast time hours. Quickly after you comes Shane as he tries to keep up with the spastic energy of a 12-year-old. The four of you, this is the first time. This is the first time that all of you have been together in quite some time. Some of you for the first time, most of you for quite some time. And Shane, you are face to face with your cousin and your friend Fish and someone you know named JoJo. And
Nemesis.
there is an awkward silence, only punctuated by the sounds of Tarzan Boy. And
Fish is like, hey.
The awkward sounds of Tarzan Boy, which are both disconcerting and comforting at the same time, somehow.
Yeah,
because I love that song. Hey, Fish. This is my cousin, Dee Dee.
Hi, Dee Dee.
Dee Dee, this is my friend. You can call her Fish.
Dee Dee spares a glance and waves. Is JoJo on the skateboard, or is the skateboard near JoJo? What's going on with the skateboard right now?
It's next to him. He's just sitting next to him.
Then she beelines to the skateboard and flips it over and starts spinning the wheels.
Is it safe for her to be in here?
Sure. Why wouldn't it be safe? We're here all the time.
She's evidently buzzing, right?
Oh, heck yeah. Yeah, she's got a frenetic energy that just doesn't stop. She's small for her age, so you might guess that she's like 10 or 11 or something like that, though she's 12. But like the energy just doesn't stop. If you don't stop her playing with your skateboard, then shortly she'll be on it.
He's just literally looking at Shane. Quite little, and yeah, we're here, but
It's all right. She's pretty good at doing what she's told. Okay,
can you
Diddy,
skate?
remember our promise.
She doesn't hear you.
Do you skate? He looks at her.
She's skating, so yes, she.
Oh, okay.
But no,
She's taking it and she's gone.
Jojo just looks awkwardly to Shane.
Shane is taken off after her, muttering under his breath as he goes.
Dee is thus far one of my favorite characters for Melissa. It's the most un-Melissa character I've encountered so far, and it is 10 out of 10.
Yeah, and Fish looks at Jojo. Babysitting. Blah.
Not for me, thanks.
Yeah.
Shane
She's doing pretty good.
Shane and Jesus, Jojo, thank you. Sorry, my brain just turned right off there. Please roll me a investigation, we'll say.
One success.
Great. No successes for Jojo. Shane, you notice that one, it's the end of January, and two, that Fish seems to have a Christmas present under her arm.
Oh yeah. Forgot
You
about
can
that.
tell it's a Christmas present by the bright metallic wrapping paper and the bright red bow.
I totally forgot it.
As I'm chasing off after Dee, I kind of, throw over my shoulder. Hey, Fish, who's the present for?
She looks at Jojo. She holds up, like, "Do you know who?" I don't know who. Did you put this here? It was outside the door.
He just shakes his head.
And she shakes it again. Do you think I should open it?
It's wrapped really well, Mike. It's like perfect wrapping.
Yeah. Yeah, this is like it's maybe not a reference for JoJo, but this is like when you have the money to pay for the store to wrap it, and it's that perfect, like they hire the one wrapper person to just wrap shit over and over again. It's that. It's definitely got the quality of like a home wrapping job.
Wrapped really well, dude.
Yeah. It's kind of
Know
pretty.
who it's from?
No, there's no from on it, Mike, I assume.
No, just says to you know who.
And she's gonna break the seal on the side and carefully trying not to damage the wrapping paper.
You do
Finders keepers, right?
you slide a finger under the seal and you pop the little edge of tape off this thing. You notice that it's not cheap paper either. It's that like thick good stuff. As you slowly begin to unravel this, you pull the string on the bow. The bow sort of unfurls in your hands. Again, not a stick-on CVS bow. This is a real tied-on job here. And you unveil a box with a lid on it, like a removable lid, like a shoe box, but it's way smaller. It's white, nondescript.
Is it tied shut or anything?
Nope.
And she's going to lift up the lid.
You take the lid off, and inside is a old-ish, but not like old-looking. It's not like crusty and gross, but it's definitely not like brand new. A remote control for a television. You see Magnavox on the top of it, and a big red button in the top right corner that says PWR.
Damn you, Mike.
You're gonna walk into this house and not. Who do you think? Who do you think you are?
She picks it up. What is this? Does she recognize this?
No, you've never. I mean, you recognize it as a television remote. I
Yeah.
mean, you've seen countless like it, but
it's not like the remote that belonged to the TV that we once had.
you didn't have a TV remote for it.
There was no remote? Okay. Okay, that's weird.
the TV we had, Mike, could have come
Yes.
with a remote.
It would have
And
come with
this-
one. All
just
TVs
didn't
come
have-
with a remote. When you buy or
Oh.
find used TVs, less so. And yours did not have a remote.
Come on, I remember TVs where you had to get up and change channels with the buttons.
That's true. That is true. This was not that kind of TV. They didn't make that kind that small.
But ours did have the Nintendo hooked up to it.
Yours did have the Nintendo spliced into the back of it.
Yeah. What's wrong, Jojo?
He just shakes his head. Nothing. It's fine. It's fine.
Okay, this is weird. And she looked, Shane, Dee Dee, what are you doing?
Have I found corralling her is an exercise in futility, but have I at least located and
Sure, I
Got her-
imagine maybe you have Dee Dee perched on your shoulders at this point.
that's probably the best way to keep her safe.
For narrative description purposes, this is an open bay. This whole floor is open. It's probably like over 100 feet long. And the only thing dangerous here is the age of the place. And there are columns, like pillars, every so often double-sided on all the entire way down. There's no machinery on this floor, but it is wide open. There are buckles and bumps from the water pipes bursting at various times in the hardwood floor. But other than that, it's relatively safe for where you are.
I swear I thought you were going to say the age of the people inside it.
Well, it's not incorrect.
Right? So Shane comes back, exaggeratedly bouncing in his step so that Dee Dee is, bouncing up on his shoulders. What's that? Wait, you brought the gift and you opened it?
I didn't bring it. It was sitting outside the door when I got here. Jojo didn't leave it there. But look, and she holds up the remote.
He pales a little bit.
Jojo is just staring at the remote.
She looks between the two of you. What's wrong? And then she kind of thinks. And then she looks at where the TV used to be.
Yeah.
That's... Ugh. Who would...
So if you found it, I mean, I thought I saw a tag on it.
She shows him the tag of the handwritten but very uniform writing. And all it says is to you know who?
Do we know who?
No. She holds the box for you to put it back in.
Yeah, so he looks at the remote. He looks at Fish. He looks at Jojo. He takes a long look up at Dee Dee, puts it back in the remote in the box, and closes the box.
Yeah, and she'll take it back.
Okay. Dee Dee, you are seeing a awkward exchange between weird teens, which, is at 12, aren't they all? There seems to be some controversy about a remote control. Some weird energy is happening here. No one's talking. Everyone's speaking in vague clips and phrases. But you're an outsider, and they appear to be at least what Shane described as friends. But that's what you're seeing as you interact with this group for the first time. It's very awkward, even by your standards. Once the remote is back in the box and the box is securely closed, what are you all doing as you stand here as Sex as a Weapon, the number 32 song on the spot, begins to play? Number 33 song, sorry.
She looks at Dee Dee and goes, "Hey, Dee Dee, do you want to do some coloring? Maybe?"
Coloring? No.
Okay.
You want to race?
Race what?
Me. And she climbs down Shane like a little acrobat and begins to run across the floor.
She looks at Shane.
At least there's not much there here she can get hurt on.
Yeah, she's fine. And she will get up and she's gonna go, she'll run after Dee Dee.
Where is the box?
She gets to the end.
She'll just put it on the floor next to her, where like between you and I, where we were sitting.
An entire 20 feet ahead of you, Fish, before you had a chance to set the box down and assume a runner's stance, Dee Dee has already declared an arbitrary end goal, and that she has reached it and won. As you begin to launch after her, leaving the box on the floor, positioned between Shane and Jojo. What are the two of you doing?
Jojo is just sitting there dead still, eyes fixed on the box.
Yep, Shane is as well. After about a second and a half too long. Is that what I think it is?
He just shrugs.
I didn't hear what Chris said.
Sorry, he just shrugs.
Okay.
The only sound other than you two quietly conversing is the clap of sneakered feet on the floorboards as races continue, and the sound of The Sun Always Shines on TV by Aha, the number 32 spot on today's countdown.
Now it's a reverberating like rubber sound as Fish has given Dee Dee her rubber super bouncy ball that she can like throw on the floor and have it hit the ceiling and ricochet off the pillars and everything.
Hell yeah. She does a lot of that.
That is a great analogy for Dee Dee as a person. It's the Super Ball. the gumdrop coin Super Ball.
Yeah.
The forbidden candy. So as Fish does your job for you, Shane, the two of you sort of stand the two of you sort of stand as The Sun Always Shines on TV plays, almost as a painful reminder.
After probably too long, Jojo, just still staring at the box, just says, "What do you think it means?"
I think someone... Fish didn't bring it. You didn't bring it. Someone brought it. Which means someone's trying to send us a message, but I don't know what it is. I mean, it could be as simple as, I know what happened, or... I mean, I would love it if something were that simple. I shouldn't have brought her here. It's... You think it's... So I'm also going to take a look at the handwriting and see if I can figure anything out from it.
Yeah, go ahead and roll me an investigate. Nope. It looks it looks strangely symmetrical. Like there are no lower lines that go, like all the lower lines are on the same line, all the upper lines are on the same line. The kerning seems to be perfect. This seems to be a perfectly symmetrical handwriting.
Someone from the loop, maybe.
Is there something inside it?
I'm sure they were involved with what happened. You don't find things like that in the basement of a Radio Shack.
Is there something in it?
Shane will very cautiously open the box, take out the remote, and pop off the battery case or the battery cover.
You do so. There are no batteries inside.
Is there anything else inside?
Nope. Just
Excellent.
it looks normal. You
Okay.
pop off the back panel to reveal where would be AAA, oh sorry, AA slots. The coils are all perfectly in there. You can see where the actual the back panel mechanism sort of snaps in. You can see inside. You can see that brown orange circuitry board in there. Everything looks to be fine. You shake it around. There's a slight rattle of probably like the infrared indicator light probably jiggling back in its casing, but nothing seems loose or moving around in there. Everything seems normal. You can there are enough tools in the office around this place. You could pop it open if you so choose. Wouldn't be that difficult for you to do so. But as far as you can tell, minus the batteries, this looks like a normal, everyday remote control.
Okay. Shane wouldn't know what to do with it anyway.
So Shane is standing there. All of a sudden, Dee Dee is by his side, and she says, "Well, you should just press the button." And she presses the button, the big red one.
You press the power button. Dee Dee, you you clearly have a little bit more energy than the average 12-year-old. So I'm gonna make an assumption here. You hear a noise in your head, in your ear. It's that whining noise of a TV powering on, right? Not everyone hears that sound, but those of you know. You hear that high-pitched like squeal and that as like the tubes were to warm up. There's no TV anywhere that you can see around you. And it seems as though no one else reacts to that sound but you.
Fish comes running in.
Did you hear it? She presses the button again to turn it off.
You hear that same sort of sound in reverse. That
You're what, kid? Kiddo?
TV, it turned on. Where is it?
We don't have one.
Do you have a VCR?
She shakes her head.
No
She
TV
presses
in
the
here.
button again. See, it just turned on. Presses it again. Presses it again.
She kind of she looks at Jojo and like rolls her eyes like kids.
Okay.
Jojo's eyes are wide.
You say
What's
you're hearing?
wrong?
You say you're hearing
Shane,
something?
Shane, just press it. Zoo.
Thanks, Melissa.
You know what? At this point, he's honestly thinking anything that would have happened that's bad happened the first time she pressed it. I will hit the button.
You hear nothing? Dee Dee, you hear that sound again.
Do I know where I'm hearing the sound from, or is it's just in my ear? Can I detect a direction?
You know what? Roll me investigation.
Right. No successes.
You can't tell what direction. It seems to be just coming from like your ears. You can't. You're a smart kid. You're pretty sure you're not hearing it through the floor. And as far as you can tell around you, there is no TV here. The only other electronic device in this room is the radio, which is now playing the 31 spot "Everything in My Heart" by Corey Hart.
So
Dee
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 will run
still
over.
has upset from
There you
last
go.
time, by the way.
Oh. Should I re-roll that?
Yeah, you can reroll that.
Oh, there we go. One success.
Good one, Chris.
Fantastic.
Thanks, Chris.
You hear it coming through the radio.
So she was going to run over to the radio, and now she runs over to the radio again. And this time she turns that off.
Okay.
And she still doesn't have the remote in her hand, so she runs back over to Shane and she presses the button.
You continue to hear the noise. It seems to be coming through the speakers.
Of the radio?
Mm-hmm.
Fish is watching her.
Well, this remote works on the radio. Don't you hear it?
No, but you do?
Oh, yes.
Fish reaches over and touches the button for herself.
You hear nothing, and again, Dee Dee, you hear either on or off, depending on how many times it's been clicked.
And there's other buttons on this remote.
That is true. There are other buttons on this remote. There is the numbers 1 through 0, and there is a channel button. It says A/CH, which is the rewind sort of button. You see the mute button, a channel up down, and a volume up down button.
She presses channel 9.
You press that, and you hear for a second like that sound when you're like changing channels. You hear that like little blip of static, and then nothing.
Now she just presses all the buttons in order.
As soon as you press the button, you hit like 1. There's that blip of static. 2 static. 3. Every single one has some level of static, but just for that brief second, and then it goes back to nothing. The channel reminder and the mute button, same thing. Volume and channel up and down, same thing. And the power button seems to be the only one that makes a different sound, which is the power on and power off sound.
It controls the radio, except there's nothing on the channels. It's not playing anything.
Fish will reach over and hit the volume up a couple times. It's like, do you hear it louder now?
You don't.
No.
And she
There's nothing
looks
on the
at
channels.
Yeah, she looks at the boys. Do they look freaked out?
Shane looks very concerned.
Okay.
Tech is not his thing. And he is keenly aware of the fact that Dee Dee needs to come back relatively unharmed.
When Fish looks back, Jojo's not in the door, but you hear his skateboard hit the ground.
Okay.
He's still upstairs, and he's just literally skating around the
Yeah.
room.
She will go and she'll sit on the floor next to
Yeah.
Dee Dee and examine the radio. Is there a tape deck in this or anything?
Yeah, it's your standard small like b-boy style beatbox, like a b-boy style
Boombox.
boombox. Thank you, not beatbox. With a single tape deck in the center, the 4 or 5 buttons to press on the top, and a broken antenna that is bent at an awkward angle that you can only put in 3 of the 4 sections.
Yeah. So she'll like pop open the tape deck and look inside, and she'll tip it over and she'll open. Does it have a battery thing? Or
It does. It takes 4 D-cell batteries.
So she'll pop it open.
Yeah, you pop the tape deck open, you look around, you kind of give it a shake. There's some kind of rattle inside as well. Could be a penny, could be a broken node in there somewhere. You pop the back panel off. There are 4 D-cell batteries in there, plugged in where they should be. Seems to be what gives it power. There is no cord for this thing. Everything about the radio seems normal. It has like bangs and scratches from being tossed around, brought to the beach, that kind of thing. It has some relative use, wear and tear. But other than that, it seems fairly normal as far as a radio goes. If you'd like to dig deeper than the outside look, you can roll me a tinker.
I'll definitely roll a tinker. It's not something I do, but I'll roll it. And 0 success.
Perfect. Yeah, you toss this thing over, you flip it around. Everything looks like a radio as far as you can tell. This doesn't look like... and there's no reason why this should interact with the remote. You know what I'll say? Give me a comprehend. Anyone who was around for Dee Dee's explanation, including Dee Dee, can feel free to roll me a comprehend.
1 success.
Okay.
I wish Elliot was here. Elliot would know.
1 success.
Okay. And Chris, you can also roll one if you so choose. Nope. Cool. So Dee Dee and Fish, Perhaps it is because you were the two that were working on this the most. But Dee Dee, you see Fish sort of flipping this over, clearly trying to figure out why the remote control is interacting with this, as you have sort of found something for your brain to focus on as opposed to bouncing around like the game Pong. And maybe near simultaneous, something clicks in your mind. Dee Dee, you first, based on how much time you spend running around outside, you've seen this happen. Perhaps it was a friend that showed you this. Perhaps you learned it in some other strange way. You know that a garage door opener in a car have been known to interact with other garage doors of a similar make and or model. So it's not unheard of that a remote for something may work on a similar brand. Why it's going for TV to radio, you're not entirely sure. Fish, in a similar vein, you're no stranger to wonky technology interacting with each other. By all accounts, this remote seems like a remote, and this radio seems like a radio. It doesn't seem like any sort of strange Loopian tech. But again, it is not uncommon for a signal, if you're taking like an infrared signal, to interact with other things that receive a signal.
Yeah, she's been reading a lot of science stuff lately.
Your best guess is that this isn't meant to interact with this. It just happens to interact with this.
She looks at Dee Dee. Maybe this means that there's something else hidden around here. What do you think?
Well, if you think so, but I don't see anything around, do you?
Well, no, there's no TV in here, and I don't think it'd be anything in this room, but maybe hidden somewhere else in the mill or maybe outside somewhere.
Hey, let's try one thing. And I think Dee Dee saw Shane take the remote apart and had no batteries on the inside.
Correct.
She flips over the tape deck and opens up the battery back and removes the batteries from it.
Okay, you do so.
And then she'll hit the remote.
Same sounds.
Doesn't make a difference.
So how come only you can hear it?
Oh, I don't know. Sometimes weird things happen around here.
Yeah, I know.
Jojo stops on the door.
That is in fact true.
Maybe we need to find a TV for the remote.
That's what I was thinking.
Yep.
Do you think it'd be any TV or?
Guess we won't know if we don't try.
Yeah. And she looks at Dee Dee. Like, yeah, weird stuff always happens around Glenbrook.
Yeah, the other day we saw a bunch of dead people.
What?
There's this terrible fog, and there was these. I'll tell you the story another day. Hey, give me the remote. She takes the remote. She snatches the remote out of Shane's hands, and she wants to take a look at it, see if she can investigate this remote.
Yeah. Are you trying to take it apart in any capacity, or are you just looking it over?
I am. You know what? She would take it apart in order to understand it.
Great. Roll me a tinker.
All right, let's do that. One success.
Yeah, you find something, either like the back panel of the device of the remote itself, or some part of the radio, and you sort of pop it in that little slit in there that lets you pop the back panel entirely off of this thing, revealing the screwed-on internal circuitry in that orangey brown sort of panel. You see a bunch of electronic circuits. You see the infrared indicator light at the top. You see on the opposite side where all of the buttons would fit through, all of the touch sensors where the buttons connect. And as far as you can tell, this looks like a regular remote. You have it taken apart. I don't know how many remote controls you've taken apart in your time, but as far as you can, great. As far as you can tell, this looks fairly similar, like to all of the rest of them. You give it a little shake, and you do see the indicator light does wobble a little bit, which is completely normal for wear and tear of this thing. Except none of the all of the symbols that would be like retrospective of where they would sit in the remote on top, like the 1 through 9, the channel, the power. They don't have that on there. They have a symbol under each one of them.
Hey, look at this, Cousin Shane.
So, my quick question: when in all the various button pressings, when a button was being pressed, did the light up? If I don't remember, I will next time the remote is functional, I will try it. But
so the technical answer is yes. However, it's infrared, so you wouldn't actually see the light up.
That's right, okay.
So you, unless you're a superhero that I haven't learned about, the indicator light does not actually light up.
Okay. A lot of the remotes at the time had the little LED light.
The little LED light on the top.
Yeah.
Yeah. This one does
that's
not.
what I thought you meant. Okay. Well then, never mind.
Fish looks over Dee Dee's shoulder.
Do
you see this? This isn't normal.
Symbols?
Do I recognize the symbols at all?
Are you a nerd?
I will remind you that I just addressed my cousin, the Speed Racer fan, as Chim Chim.
Okay, well, let me rephrase. Not you. Is Shane a nerd?
He's a little bit of a nerd. He's a cartoon nerd. Which is how he knew the Speed Racer reference. He is one of those people that very under the radar tries to get smuggled, copied 3 times over anime tapes.
Yeah. Here's what I'll say. With no role involved at this moment, okay. You recognize there's something about the symbols that sticks out in your brain. You can't place it. If you'd like to roll me a comprehend, you can do so. Anyone else who considers himself a nerd or a movie buff can do the same.
Where do I know these from?
Well, I know Elliot's been showing me some movies lately, and I've been reading a lot of science stuff and like nerdy stuff. Can I roll?
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay.
Comprehend.
1 success.
Great. The two of you hover over the remote staring at these symbols. All of them seem to be like some combination of like a dash or like a weird angle. Everything is very triangular, angular, and square looking, right? And after a few minutes of musing over what this could be, it looks, but is not exactly, Universal Basic, or Besh, the language from Star Wars.
Elliot would totally know this.
Yeah, but he wouldn't believe any of it's happening. It's from Star Wars, right?
The movie with the guy with the light thing? Sure. Elliot always wants to watch that one. Jojo, have you seen Star Wars?
Pretty good movie, actually.
No.
Okay, so why are there Star Wars symbols on the remote?
I'm guessing from her age. I'm gonna say that Shane actually took Dee Dee to see Return of the Jedi in the theaters as like her first real movie in a theater, because that was 83.
Yeah, it only came out 3 years ago.
Yeah, he absolutely did. And Dee Dee spent the time like going back and forth from the bathroom, going to the concession stand, occasionally like standing up on the chair and having Shane pull her down. So, she had a good time.
Yeah, I'm going to guess that the Ewoks got her attention. The teddy bears.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Or the speeder chase.
Yeah.
Oh, that was a good part.
Yeah.
No idea what happened in the rest.
Right.
There was explosions.
Yeah.
And that's it. That was it.
Okay, so maybe we should go find a TV. Or maybe if we go to composite video, we could rent Star Wars, and
Maybe.
maybe the remote will do something.
I mean, they've got TVs mounted up on the wall there.
Yeah.
It's always
PD
playing
has
something.
begun to take apart the tape deck as well.
Okay, just don't break it, okay, Dee Dee? We
I
need
don't
that.
break things.
Well, can you please put it back when you're done? We're gonna go to the composite video.
Hey, when are we going?
As soon as you
now?
finish the puzzle, kiddo, you got to finish putting the jigsaw puzzle together, okay?
Just as a clarification, unless Fish, you are somehow indicating that you're in some sort of weird alternate universe, the video store is called Component Video.
Composite.
Depends which world we're in, Mike.
Just to be clear, this is Component Video. Here in.
Well,
in
I'm
this-
just going by what it was referred to the first time we were there, and it was composite video.
And the third and the sixth and the seventh and then pretty much every other time, every second time since
Yeah,
then.
it's every other time that I switch.
We're going to CV, okay?
Listen, somebody go back and watch these and
I'm
actually
pretty sure I did. If it's
compile
composite-
when it's composite and when it's component. I want to know these timestamps. If you're listening,
Get on
out
that,
there,
Patreons.
yeah, if you're out there listening, make that happen. Yeah. So
Is it
good.
is it open since Fish burned it down?
Yeah, Fish.
Burn it down.
Um,
Elliot burned it down. It was his idea to use lightning to destroy those weird tapes.
yes. Fish burned it down back at the end of September. It is now the end of January, so it's been a few months to repair the and only the top part got sparked and burnt a little bit. Only the apartment burnt.
Elliot's room.
Yeah. Well, it's actually Elliot's uncle's room. He lives there above there. Elliot and his family have a house.
Yeah, he sleeps with his uncle, remember?
So you guys put together the puzzle of the boombox here, and grab your various vehicles of choice and head into town. Head towards Component Video. Is that what I'm picking up here?
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah.
You grab your various bicycles, your running shoes, whatever you're taking here, your skateboard, and you head down the side street, leaving the Stillwater mill building, and you head to the main road, headed into town. As you ride, there's cars moving around, people on the streets. It seems to be a normal Saturday afternoon or early morning here, or early afternoon here, as you make your way towards town itself.
I have the remote, and I'm kind of holding it up as kind of a carrot to try to keep Dee Dee's attention, to keep her with the rest of the group.
That wouldn't have been effective because Dee Dee considers this a race. She knows where you're going, and she's well ahead of everyone. So you guys are struggling to keep up with her.
Perfect. So as you all chase Dee Dee to the in her case, Dee Dee to the goal of Component Video, she obviously arrives there first, having already gotten a head start on you, and you all make your way to Component Video. You see the open sign is turned, and you see who you've come to know as Elliot's sister is currently working inside the store. You see her sort of absent-mindedly bopping and twirling and spinning some hair, as you see that she has her headphones on and a Walkman strapped to her hip, as she ignores anything that's happening in here. You guys all skid to a halt of your various modes of transportation, and you are outside the store.
I think she will. Okay, so we're gonna go in and we're gonna get which Star Wars movie? Maybe we'll just start with all three out by now in '86?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, well, do you want to start with the first one, or do you want to start with the latest one?
The two nerds can roll me comprehend.
I think that's you two.
That's you and Shane. Fish and Shane.
Oh, me?
Yeah.
Comprehend. 2.
Fish, you know without a shadow of a doubt that the only time Aurebesh or Universal Basic appeared on screen is in the 1983 release of Return of the Jedi. So the latest movie is the one that has those words in it.
Yeah. Okay. I think Return of the Jedi is the one. Why do I know this? And she walks in.
There is a little chime as you walk in, and you are continued to be completely ignored by Ellie, the woman behind the counter, as she bops and dances.
She just say her like, "Hi, Ellie," and then she will just keep walking because she knows she's not going to get anything.
Oh, she looks to you and she goes, and she takes off her little headphones, and through that you can hear more of Casey Kasem announcing the number 27 spot face to face by Pete Townsend. As you begin to look through the store for a copy of Return of the Jedi, what are the rest of you doing?
Dee Dee is disorganizing all the videotapes.
I love that. I
She's,
absolutely love that.
She's putting them all in the wrong, A's and the D's and such.
That's great. Mostly because Ellie doesn't give a shit, and that's for sure going to be Elliot's problem when he comes in. Shane and JoJo, what are you doing?
Shane at the beginning was trying completely futilely to get Dee Dee to stop, and he has just accepted his lot in life, and is now just keeping an eye on her to make sure that she doesn't actively break anything.
Okay.
Because he set the bar.
That's fair. JoJo?
JoJo's not looking at Ellie because she's someone new. And he hasn't seen many people for a while. So he finds just a random spot and just looks through videos.
Okay. Who has the remote? Just so I know. Okay, cool. Fish, it doesn't take you very long. Everything's categorized into genre of type. You can see that on the end of each A-frame rack, where it says genre, there's also a pamphlet in one of those like loose leaf holders that gives Elliot's personal ranking of the films that are in here on a scale of 1 to 5 stars, symbolized by asterisks. And you quickly find the sci-fi section, and alphabetize your way down to Star Wars, the Return of the Jedi. You pull the faceplate off. Behind it is one of the empty cassette cases, or one of the rental cassette cases, and you can easily bring that up to Ellie to check you out with your membership card.
I'll just ask her if we can watch it here.
Oh, she looks at you. She goes,
I just want to check something.
Yeah, I literally don't care.
Sweet.
There's one of the viewing things over here that we just have stuff running on. You can use that one, and make sure that you rewind it, because I don't want to, and make sure you put it back.
Elliot told me never to rewind it.
That's stupid. We literally have rewinders that rewind things for us.
Yeah. So why would I rewind it if Elliot likes doing that?
Because then do you see him here right now? Because he's not here right now, and then I have to do it, and I don't want to do it.
Okay.
Just rewind it. Or go
okay.
home.
I'll rewind it.
Okay.
Okay. And she's gonna motion to JoJo and to
she puts her headphones back on.
to Shane. God. Okay, and she's gonna put it in, and I'm assuming she knows where she saw it, so she can fast forward to the.
Yeah, with 2 comprehends for sure. You pop the tape in and you fast forward to the scene in which you can see the Universal Basic written on there, and you freeze frame it on there, and you see a scene of a spaceship. You see the Universal Basic written. That's it. You guys are all sort of gathered around the TV, with this movie paused on here.
Press the button, Shane. You're muted.
Yep. Yeah, you got to it a half a second before I did. Yep. Shane will and hit the button.
You press the button, and immediately you hear that static noise. All of you can hear it now coming out of the speakers here, just for a brief second, as if changing a channel. And the channel does change. What you see before you is a couch, probably a 3-section couch, like the 3 cushions on there. It appears to be overlooking abandoned ruins of like a post-apocalyptic apartment. Maybe like it's looking out into a living room. You see a couch, you see walls sort of shattered and smashed, and there's like ruins of things, like a broken side table, a shattered lamp next to this. It looks like a house in great disarray, one that you might see in the likes of maybe Mad Max or something of the kind.
What is this? And she's gonna see if she can she make out anything that would determine like what is this a place that she knows? Is this a movie?
Yeah, roll me
something?
comprehend.
All right, comprehend. Oh, can I use one of my lucks?
Yeah.
1 success.
You're looking at this, and there's something about it that has a level of familiarity. Like this couldn't be. This isn't meant to seem like some post-apocalyptic future. The furniture seems to be like early to mid 70s. Like it's relatively recent. You look closer, it is black and white. At first you weren't sure if that was like some sort of atomic snow, but it is black and white. You do see that there is fire damage in certain places, and it does look like things were smashed, more so than like it's just time. It looks like things were broken and smashed with the intention of breaking and smashing things. Yeah, that's essentially all you get out of that. What is everyone else doing? Are you all watching this scene? The TV is not paused at this. Like there's none of those weird pause lines. So whatever you're seeing is something live, maybe
Real time.
Yeah.
Did you say it was burned?
What's that? There are burn marks on things. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Dee Dee, Shane, and JoJo, what are you doing?
Does it look like upstairs?
It does not. That looked like a sad, lonely man's single bedroom apartment.
Can I see from like looking at the landscape and such? Is it? Does it look like Glenbrook?
You actually can't. Actually, you know what? Roll me investigate. We'll say.
Okay.
And what button did he press? Is that relevant?
I assume the power button.
Yeah, I press power. Yes,
Shane,
1 success.
Shane, you like examine this. You can see that in the background there are shattered out windows that lead, but outside the window you can see there are woods. There's a forest behind this. The trees look like they could be Glenbrook, but they also look like they could be most of northeastern America, and many other places that have coniferous forests.
Sure.
But it doesn't look. It looks pretty nondescript. You can't see much of the landscape as there are still walls in here. There's just a lot of damage. You can see that there's like fire, like the burn marks coming up from the bottom of this thing that sort of peel what would have been wallpaper or pictures. You see like a frame dangling with nothing inside of it, the glass shattered. Dee Dee and JoJo, what are you doing?
Jojo's just watching the scene.
Okay.
Dee Dee's attention would have been attracted to this too, and so she's by everyone's side. But once Shane glances down, he realizes she has an open bag of red vines, and half of them are stuffed in her face, and a bag of soda or a can of soda is in her pocket, bulging outwards. He still has the remote. Who has the remote?
Shane does.
Is it Shane? So she starts changing the channel.
I love how Shane Tara did not hear any of that.
Yeah. Also,
Perfect.
Also, you said bag of soda, and my brain
Oh,
went
yeah.
to make a Canada joke immediately that they sell bags of soda right next to their bags of milk. Listen, what are hurricanes again, G? Okay, so you sort of snatch the remote. Are you taking the remote, or are you just pressing the buttons as he's
No,
holding
she's
it?
just pressing the button.
Okay, great. You press the buttons in any sort of random order. And instead of doing whatever the button was supposed to do, they do some sort of like either saturation or desaturation or hue change. So the color begins changing on this thing. So as you start jamming buttons, it either the white balance goes up real high or goes drilled down low, or like it starts to fade to red, or it starts to fade to green, or it starts to fade to blue, depending on the combination of buttons you press. It starts to morph the colors of this.
Oh, that's fun. So she keeps doing that because she enjoys changing the colors.
Great. You guys see a nauseating rainbow like you're trying to watch the Spice Channel in the 80s.
But nothing is changing the actual image.
Nope, the image is still. Every once in a while, there's a warble as she jams buttons on here.
Jojo looks to Fish and Shane. In the Star movie, like there were symbols in an order. Maybe the buttons need to be pressed in an order, following what was in the movie.
That's a good idea. Can we replicate that on the remote?
Sure. Yeah, you power off the screen and it goes right back to the paused still you have there, and you can see the lettering in the order that they're in. You can put it back on and type those in the correct order. Easy enough to be done. You do this, and every single time you hit one of them, the hue changes in one color. You hit the next one, it changes in a different color, changes again, until you complete the sequence, revealing what you assume to be the actual tonal color of this. And perhaps it was the shifting color, the miasma of different shapes and strangeness of this. Jojo, that's your house.
Knew it.
He called it as well. Jojo just stares at it. That's my house. That's my house.
Right now.
Did your house burn down?
Did they tear it down afterwards, or is like the shell still there?
I haven't been back.
We should go there. And she takes Jojo's hand, like very subtly.
If she looks at him, his face is white. He's gone sheet white.
I think we should go there. And she looks at Shane. Why don't you guys stay here? I'll go.
No. All or nothing.
He shakes his head, squeezes Fish's hand.
She's like, you don't have to go if you don't want to. I'll go check it out with Shane.
You should take me. I can solve all the problems.
All right,
so far.
You look at her this time and she has chocolate all over her face. Every time Shane looks away and he looks back, she has a different, like she has a popsicle or a lollipop the next time.
Fish doesn't react.
There's that take one for the kids bucket at the counter that Ellie just does not give a shit about as you just keep stuffing them.
All right, let's go.
Eddie, do you want to solve another mystery?
Heck yeah. Let's go. And she's out the door.
She and Fish ejects the tape and just leaves it. And then
still in the VCR?
Yeah.
Savage.
Yeah.
Savagery.
Elliot will thank her.
There's a trail of sweets behind Dee Dee. All the
Yeah.
ones that
No,
she
just,
dropped.
yeah, just the
the
wrappers.
wrappers and sticks from the
Aha, she's left us a trail to follow.
like the owl from the chocolate. 1, 2, 3 throws the stick. You return to your modes of transportation, and you pedal down Main Street, off several side streets, and towards the less nice side of town. You end up.
It's great.
It's the great side of town. You hop off the main road or off of the side street and onto a dirt path that takes you down to the handful of houses that are in the neighborhood of where of Jojo lives, and where several of you may have been at one time in the Chronicles Collective. Now stands the burnt down husk of the Johnson estate. As the news had mentioned it was the abandoned Johnson estate. Whatever that means, you're not sure, because clearly Jojo lived there. However, you see the firefighters did their best job of putting the fire out. However, the house, the top of the house, the roof, everything is timbers and cinders, and a lot of the walls are burnt. All of the glass is blown out, furniture is destroyed, and it just seems to be a carcass of a house. They have not torn it down as of yet, despite it having happened over a month ago. Almost 2 months ago. You all pull up to your various your skids, etc., and hop off your bikes and skateboards, and you see Jojo's house, or at least what's left of it.
You want to wait here? I'll go inside and take a look.
He shakes his head. Starts to walk.
She follows him and glances at Shane and Dee Dee.
Yep.
Gets to the door and just swings it open. If it opens.
It does.
It's even there.
It creaks on its hinge as it does so, and you open up into. It almost feels like walking into that image, right? That still image on the screen. As you pull this in, the sky is sort of gray and overcast in that like winter sort of haze. As you push this door open, and you walk into this almost grayscale house, like almost as if the whole house has been desaturated, gray like a dream. As you walk in, and you see your house before you, it is exactly how you left it, albeit burned to a crisp. Jojo, you are hit with flashbacks of a baseball bat shattering lamps, shattering glass picture frames, smashing anything you could get your hands or bat on. As you walk through, it sort of plays through your mind in reverse as you make your way towards the only distinct image you could make out from that picture, the couch. Do the rest of you follow?
She's right next, right behind him.
Great. Shane, Dee Dee?
Shane is following and attempting, however unsuccessfully, I'm sure, to basically keep a hold of Dee Dee's hand.
Dee Dee keeps holding his hand, but it's a struggle to keep her. But Shane can succeed.
Okay. Basically, I'm kind of imagining, she's doing like the running around him, and he's just kind of, handing off from one hand to the other as she goes around. Kind of just absent-mindedly.
Is there a TV?
Like passing a dog, like around as it runs around you.
Pretty much, yeah.
I would like specifically Shane and Fish, but also Dee Dee if you're so inclined, to make me a comprehend check.
Successes.
One success.
I'll leave it.
Dee Dee has all the roles today.
I know, right?
Seriously.
Dee Dee's on fire. Dee Dee and Shane, for whatever reason, perhaps for Dee Dee, it's far too much television. As the things like reality TV starts to filter down into this time frame. This damage was not done by a fire. There's a fire here, and there's a lot of fire damage, but all of the destruction in this house was not caused by a fire. You look at certain things, and perhaps there's a little bit of a forensic tick in the back of your mind, but there are far too many burns on far too many angles of things for them to have been destroyed in the fire. A lot of this destruction happened before a fire happened. And Dee Dee, Shane, you had suspicions, whether you have refused to confirm them or not. And Dee Dee, this is the first time you've ever seen this house, been to this house, etc. But you have heard the name, and you know of what the news has said, having heard the news when your pops are having the TV on. This house, one, was clearly not abandoned, and two, does not look like it was destroyed by a storm. So there's two pieces of information for you to confirm that this house was not destroyed by the nor'easter that happened on November 2nd. The rest of you walk through the house towards the main living room area, and there is a burnt out couch, etc. And perhaps Fish, I feel like JoJo is the first one in, almost as if like it's sort of that like rite of passage. It's your own house. Perhaps you almost walk into a stopped short, JoJo, as you are looking for evidence of the things you saw inside that. And JoJo is the first to see that where his TV once stood, that he knows rightfully well that he smashed to pieces with a baseball bat, is arguably, comparatively rather, a new Magnavox TV. One that seems like it is at least the same age as the remote in the box. Definitely not the TV he had, definitely newer than anything here, and also not burnt.
That's not my TV.
Shane, the remote.
Right brand.
Press power.
I hand the remote to JoJo. Or I hold out the remote to JoJo.
He just shakes his head.
She'll take it.
Say I didn't offer.
And she'll look at JoJo. I'm gonna turn it on, okay?
Press the button.
Just nods.
She presses power.
You press power, and there's immediately that of it lighting up, and you see like a bunch of flashes on the screen, not like seizure-inducing flashes, but the flashes of something like booting up. Those of you who played in the mill recognize the boot up sequence of the Nintendo Entertainment System that you had won from one Mr. O'Rourke. And the
It was legitimate. Daddy won the tournament.
You hear the cathode rays warm up inside this TV, and you see a title screen pop out at you, and it says Karate Way of the Fist. Press start. Press start. Press start. Blinking at you.
She'll look around. There's no NES here though, right?
There is no NES here.
She looks at the boys. Isn't this what happened before? You told me about it? Can't hear you, Chris.
You're muted.
Chris doesn't remember.
Yeah, neither do I.
If you're asking what happened and we all fall down, no.
Oh, no.
Well, weren't you guys playing the Nintendo when it happened? This is a brand new TV, but it's not the same model as the one
Nope.
that we scavenged, right? Okay. Let's look at the image.
Honestly, don't even remember.
She's gonna hit a couple buttons. She's gonna hit the same combination of buttons, slowly, one at a time, to for the symbols from Star Wars. See if anything happens.
The first button you press, it seems as though you pressed start. whatever that means. You press start, and you see the pixelated, or if you like that word, the tessellation of the graphics going to
you.
disappear, and it is replaced by character select and a bunch of boxes of fighters. The bottom lowest right one is a yearbook photo of one William Duncan. You have a cursor that seems to be blinking. You can select your fighter.
She's gonna slowly move it over.
As Fish is doing that, Jojo's head just slowly turns to look to where he had left a baseball bat better than a wall.
You find it. The handle of it is burnt. Your guesstimation, based on your usage of it, you have one hit with this thing before the baseball bat shatters. While you're looking for this, Fish, you have discovered that the channel up-down moves it up and down, and the volume up-down moves it left and right as you slowly etch-a-sketch your way to the bottom right corner and press whatever button was meant for select, and you select Billy Duncan. The screen. Okay.
So at this point, I have actually actively shepherded Dee Dee behind me, and I am holding on to her. And if she's every time she tries to struggle, I say, "No, don't move."
Dee Dee, what are you doing?
Dee Dee is struggling and moving, but she's not that interested in what's going on with the TV. And she's pulled out that ball out of her pocket and has begun to bounce that.
Okay. Yeah, every bounce it crunches something. As this place is falling apart.
Yeah,
Fish.
and Fish is taking walk closer to the TV as she's doing this, and she's like her face is just like, holy shit, and she and she looks scared too, and then she finally selects Billy.
You select that in that same tessellation, and you see a like a globe sort of like it's all graphical, right? Like this globe appears and slowly starts to rotate towards North America, and then you see like these like almost a crosshair go and hit to like where roughly New England is, and then it like and it gets bigger and pulls in, and then you see fading in a slowly moving up and down in a gi digital form of Billy Duncan, and then line by line that of text starts to form a bio of Billy Duncan. It says at the young age of 14, Billy Duncan was chosen for a government experiment to make him America's next greatest fighting hero. And it goes on to continue about why he is in the Karate Way of the Fist worldwide fighting tournament. And you just see him sort of moving up and down, waiting to be selected for combat. Shane, this appears as you're not a huge on video games, but this appears to be similar to any other style video game of its kind. Dee Dee, you get the same. And Jojo, whether you're looking or not, you've seen this style of game before on your hacked ROM of Nintendo games. This seems similar to certain fighting games of its time.
At this point, he's not at the TV. He's a few paces back, and Shane would see him from behind with the baseball bat in his hand.
Okay.
He's just standing there.
Gee, you have the remote. What are you doing?
Yeah, she'll select him and see what happens.
You select him, and you see the character who is just like a side profile of just the. You see it turn towards the screen, and it steps down as if it was on some sort of like box or something, and you see it walk towards the screen. And it's like it's not like walking through the screen. It's like walking closer and closer and closer, as if like there's a camera. And you see in increasing detail, as if someone's tuning it, Billy Duncan's face. You see basically his like from his pecs up is where you would see basically what you see of me in this box right now. And he like pokes the camera as if he knows something. You can see that fingertip press against the screen. And he looks to you and says,
Holy shit. She's she just waves a little bit.
Is there a volume control on the TV mic?
yeah.
Jojo presses or twists the dial, presses the button to turn the volume up.
You turn this up, and there's that like when you hit max volume, there's that like whine in the TV that it makes. That like weird staticky, like you've hit volume. And again, he points to his mouth and he points to his ears, and you see him mouthing things, but you don't hear anything through that high pitched noise of the audio of the volume being too high.
Jojo looks at Dee Dee. Can you hear anything? You heard things before?
Can I hear anything?
You hear that high pitched noise again. Every time he opens his mouth, it sounds not like the of the TV on or the of a TV off, but every time he opens his mouth, you hear that noise of like it's almost like tinnitus. You hear a high pitched like ringing every time he's moving his mouth, and it stops as soon as he's done.
Dee Dee's gonna scoot over to Fish and hit the volume button on the remote.
You see, oh yeah, that's true. You don't see the cursor anymore. You press the volume button. Are you pressing up or down?
Up.
Okay. You press the volume up, and it sort of like cancels out. It cancels out like that weird tuner noise of the TV being too loud. And you slowly begin to hear. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Does everybody hear?
Can you hear us?
Yeah.
You alive?
The hell kind of question is that?
A real one?
How did you? Why are you in the video game?
What?
Jojo just stares at Shane.
Where are you right now?
The Radio Shack? Where are you?
We're at one of our houses.
It looks like shit.
What day is it? Thanks. What day is it?
Oh God. I don't. It's the October 11th.
You mean the day of the NES tournament?
That is, in fact, the day of the NES tournament.
She looks at Jojo. That's the day we went to the Radio Shack.
Why are you saying that?
You're in the TV.
Yeah.
What?
You can see us, right?
Yeah.
How are you seeing
Jojo
us?
walks.
I'm looking at the screen.
Jojo turns and walks toward the bathroom, and he's going to go grab a mirror. If there's still one there, and rip it off the wall.
Like, of course, I mean, like you're also in the TV. I don't understand what that.
You're seeing us inside a TV?
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking at a screen.
That's what we're doing.
Like, okay.
We're standing in the real world, and we're looking at a TV, and you're in it.
Okay, well, I'm also in the real world, I guess. I don't know what that means. And I'm looking at a TV screen, and you're in it. I don't understand.
That makes all of us.
Mike, is the building still desaturated?
It's not like it's not literally desaturated. It just, because of the grayscale of the day and the fact that everything's sort of burnt, it sort of desaturates the color in here. Because most of the colors are stark white versus stark black. So yes, it does seem, as you described to Dee Dee, it describes Dee Dee's like normal ambiance of desaturated. All of the colors here are muted, either covered in soot or dust or light snowfall. But everything does seem desaturated here.
Dee Dee's gonna dart forward and tap the glass of the TV.
Dee Dee, wait!
You tink 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 on the glass, and you see Billy hold his head, and he goes, "Shit, that was loud. Not cool. What if I do that to you?" And he tink 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 tinks on the glass, and you hear a muted like thud 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 thud.
She says, "Yep, he's in there." She's gonna look behind the TV.
You look behind the TV and you see the burnt husk of what was a entertainment system, and the burnt hole where the outlet cover has melted, and nothing is plugged into it. In fact, there is no power cable coming out of the back of the television to plug in.
Hey, there's no electric. She's tapping the back of it too.
Yeah, you're just dunk, 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 dunk on the side of the plastic casing.
What is his reaction when she's tapping the parts of the TV that are not the tube?
He looks around for where the noise is coming from.
Hey, well, we can pick this up and take it anywhere we want to go, and then, you can talk to your friend anytime.
How did this TV get here?
I'm sorry, what?
We should take it to the Radio Shack.
I'm at the Radio Shack.
But the Radio Shack is closed now. There's nothing there, right? All those shops are gone.
I'm here. Why are you talking like I'm not right here?
Billy, it's January.
That doesn't make any sense. It's October. Like the middle of October.
Oh.
I just saw you.
We didn't see you at the tournament.
That's weird.
Danny won the tournament. He won the NES.
How did he win the tournament? It hasn't ended yet.
He kicked ass. That's what he did because he's cool. And we broke into Mr. O'Rourke's office. He's not a nerd.
Okay.
We broke into Mr. O'Rourke's office because weird stuff always happens around here. We stole a bunch of his stuff and then we left.
That sounds like you just admitted to several crimes.
Who cares? What are you going to do about it? You're stuck in a TV.
I don't know what that means.
He knows we stole it. And he still didn't do anything about it.
Hey, kid, can you walk out of the room for a minute?
My name's Billy, and who are you?
Just for a minute, just walk out and then walk back in. And she's not going to pay attention to what he does, and she lifts up the bottom of the TV, see what happens underneath it.
Yeah, you tip the TV over, and you see the undercarriage of the TV. There seem to be no holes or anything in there. There's no circuitry coming out the bottom side of it. It just seems to be a normal TV, by all accounts.
What's the size of the TV again? How big is this TV?
It's like a 20-inch, so it's like,
Oh, okay. You can pick it up then.
Easily pick up. Yeah, easily pick up.
So she's going to pick up the whole thing and then look at the screen to see if there's still a video there.
There is still a video there, and unlike the tapping, there doesn't seem to be any reaction to the orientation of the TV.
Okay,
it seems
so you can rotate it.
It seems to be
like a window.
It seems to be oriented where like the bottom of the TV is where he's standing up, and if you turn it to its side, he's still now standing on this side, looking up, like where the orientation remains the same.
So then she's going to start to pull the TV around the room and see if she can change the orientation of where that window is to get a different look. Maybe follow him outside if he's actually followed instructions and left the room.
You don't see, so he doesn't appear to be in a room. so to speak. He seems to be on a character select screen where he got off some sort of plinth and walked towards the camera, as far as he puts it. Your best guess is like in the movies when they green screen something, it's kind of like that. He seems to be green screened into this game. At least that's what you seem to be getting from his perception of reality. So there's not really anywhere for him to go. He walks away because you told him to, and he's curious to see what happens. And you see him walk off screen, and then you see him come back.
She's going to rotate it to see if she can see him off screen.
Oh, I like that idea. Yeah, you rotate it in the direction that he walked, and you pull him back. Not like pull him, but like you rotate back to him walking away again.
Cool. See? And she hands the TV to Jojo. You can keep your friend.
Mike, has Jojo managed to find a mirror?
Yeah, I mean,
he's in the other room. Sorry.
you find parts.
No, he's come back.
You find parts of a mirror. Most of the mirrors would have warped and shattered in here. So whatever the furthest room away from where the fire mysteriously started, you find a mirror there. Perhaps like the master bedroom, the master bathroom off of the main bedroom. You pull off shards, the largest shard you could find of that.
Yeah, he brings the largest shard, wipes it on his shirt, and just holds it to the TV. Can you see yourself in a TV? And he slowly just moves it to allow Billy to at least see the TV.
Yeah. I believe to you that you're seeing. I'm seeing you in a TV.
Yeah, but
What's
you
behind
don't
us?
look real.
I'm sorry. What was that?
What are you seeing behind us?
A shitty building? I don't know. Like, are you in a movie set? What is? Looks like a burned. Like a burned building, I guess.
Okay. Well, at least, yes, it is a burned building. See, we're seeing you in a video game.
Yeah, that would make sense.
What do you mean? That would make sense.
That's where I'm confused. You said the Swedish nerd kid won, but like the tournament hasn't started.
No, we're not seeing you at a video game tournament.
No. It's like a virtual reality thing. I had to put on a bunch of stuff. I guess you can't see it now because it's like, I don't know, a digital thing. But I have like a headset situation, and I have like and then O'Rourke did a thing, and I'm waiting for the next person to come in to do their thing, and then we fight.
Oh.
It's like a
She
virtual.
She looks at Jojo. Doesn't that kind of sound like the laser tag? We put on the
When
laser
things weren't
tag.
real.
Yeah, we put the laser tag things on, like the armor. And then when we went into the room, it was all real. But I don't get.
The opposite.
Sorry, what?
But the opposite. He was real, and now he's in a game. Whereas we were in a game that became real.
I can hear you,
Doesn't
and
make
I'm
sense.
still real. I don't know what that means.
Jojo,
Okay. Just accept for the moment that what you're seeing and what we're seeing are not in sync right now.
Okay.
We're getting there.
Okay.
You were this fast on the track team, you would have earned your spot.
I can hear you, and I did earn it.
Jojo looks to Shane. You make the call. The last time I did it, he died.
I what?
Not now.
No need to yell. I'm right here.
Hey, what happens if you pick another combatant and you go and fight him?
Were there other people picked?
Yeah.
Me?
No, not you. Fish.
Oh, sorry.
Fish. Just go back to the character select screen.
Were there other characters to select?
Yeah, there's like a dozen or so.
Okay, she will go back and select the first character on the list?
Yeah, you picked the first character on the list, whose name is Raijin. You select this person, and you see on one side is Billy Duncan in his stance and his gi, and then a lightning bolt hits, and a big like four-armed like muscly monster sort of appears out of lightning, and you see that it has like I forget what they're called, but like the sumo wrestler loincloth style thing on it, and it like stomps its 2 feet and then claps one set of hands and claps the other set of hands, and it says fight. And you see this thing and Billy Duncan start to fight each other.
Dee Dee is mimicking the fight of the combat.
Yeah. After a few seconds, it looks like a demo almost. A few minutes of them fighting. You see the blue guy like leap back and like his upper hands raise up and its lower hands sort of come together and a lightning bolt sort of forms and explodes forward. And you see Billy's character. It makes a jump thing, and then the jump itself just sort of turns. Without it orientation changing, it just sort of rotates and lands on the other side of the orb, and you see it deliver an uppercut to Raijin, and then it says KO, and fireworks explode as you see the life bar go down to 0, and Billy comes out victorious. And then the screen goes back to the loading screen, and you see him as like almost like a yearbook photo, and he's like this in the yearbook photo.
So was he still on the screen when it was a loading screen?
No.
Okay.
Maybe we should try taking it back to Radio Shack?
I think so.
Somehow, like, I don't know what's there anymore, but should we take the whole TV?
Not that heavy.
As opposed to what?
I don't know. She goes and she will pick it up. If she's able to.
You can pick it up. Yeah, Dee Dee was holding it.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, let's go.
Hey, if you move the TV, he may not come with.
I know, but
here. Bring it outside.
She'll do so.
I am basically walking backwards so that I am watching. What do I see of?
You see him getting smaller and smaller as if you're walking away from him.
Son of a bitch. Okay. No, that's not. No, Dee Dee was right. It's not going to work.
He just has to follow.
Yeah, she motions to Billy. Billy, come on.
Oh, I'm following you now?
Yeah.
Okay. Where are we going?
I don't. We're going to go to the Radio Shack.
I keep telling you that's where I am, but that's fine. Okay, sure, whatever. I'll stop.
We're going to go to the Radio Shack.
Okay.
Hopefully we'll meet you there.
Cool. And we see, as we see Shane, Jojo, Fish, and Dee Dee walk out, Shane sort of walking backwards almost, keeping an eye on Billy, and Billy sort of chasing after an invisible camera. That is where we wrap part 1 of Winter Whispers. Our return to Glenbrook. We will schedule a second part to this to see the chilling conclusion of what happens in January 1986 here in Glenbrook. So for now, I will leave you with the untold tales of Billy Duncan. We'll go around, we'll do our introductions so that we can get the hell out of here, do some after show, do some stars, do some wishes, and you all can join us on the Patreon at the $5 tier and get access to this after show and all of the after shows for all of our previous one-shots and campaigns for the last 3 and change years. So we will start with officially welcoming for her first time on screen in Glenbrook, Melissa. Who are you? Where can we find you on the internet, and what are you up to?
Hi everyone. It's great to be here. Super excited to finally play on screen in Glenbrook with original characters and everything. It's fantastic. did I say my name? My name's Melissa, known as Drathdeer, but you can't find me anywhere because I'm lurking everywhere. So go to unMadeGaming's Discord channel, and sometimes I'll be chatting there. Otherwise, gosh, we're not sure when the next Age of Always game is quite yet, but it's probably in about a month. You can see me playing that.
Of course. Also, go check out the Wikipedia where Melissa not only contributes to that, but also all of the amazing art she's done for the channel, our characters, our other games, is all on there. So definitely go check that out and take a gander, and then compliment her on all the internet spaces.
Thanks, Mike.
Of course. Moving over to the first member of the Gruesome Twosome, G, who are you? Where can we find you on the internet, and what are you up to?
The dynamic duo, okay?
Yeah, okay.
None of this gruesome twosome bullshit. I am G, your friendly neighborhood lightning invoker, and you can find me on all things unMade Gaming, for the Patreon playing, and for Age of Always and modding during the regular streams. And you'll find me in the Discord all the time.
Hell yeah. And if his last appearance didn't put the gruesome in the twosome, this episode surely didn't help. Chris, who are you? Where can we find you on the internet, and what are you up to?
I'm Chris, aka Necro, part of the dynamic duo, as G said. Back together after over a year.
Yeah.
In Glenbrook, which was absolutely fantastic. You can find me in Discord or Patreon things. Age of Always with Melissa and G. Other than that, nowhere. Don't believe all you see on the internet.
Hell yeah.
Hide away from it.
And last but not least, Trevor, who are you? Where can we find you on the internet, and what are you up to?
Hello, everyone. I am Trevor, aka the Vitruvian Meeple. You can find me on the Discord. You can find me on Mastodon at dice.camp. You can also find me over on my own Twitch channel, again, Vitruvian Meeple, where every other Monday, give or take, we run the Powers That Be, which is a Claim the Sky cipher system superheroes campaign. It's a lot of fun. You should join us. And yeah, that's about it.
Hell freaking yes. As always, thank you all for being here. If you like what we do here and you want to support us, head over to our Patreon like these fine folks here. Join us, get the after show that we're about to film, get all the after shows for previous times, and click on that Discord link, join us in the community, be a part of the conversation, and talk about this game and the rest of the Glenbrook Chronicles. But that's it from us. So we will see you guys next time for part 2 of Winter Whispers. And that's it from me. So from all of us to you guys, we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.